Breaking news! It's been a hot week behind the scenes for the Steelers, and you can get ready because there are bound to be some surprises on the way. As we approach training camp in Latrobe in late July, there's a storm quietly brewing in Pittsburgh. There's one big question, actually two, hanging over the Steel City. I need to give you some updates on Jaylen Ramsay and TJ Watt's contract situation. I'm going to tell you everything I've learned. But first, make sure you've hit the like button if you're a passionate Steelers fan and really want to see this team compete in a Super Bowl. Man, I dream about that every day. If possible, comment like this: "Go Steelers! I believe in better days." Like me, many of you are holding your breath, and rightly so. First, let's talk about TJ Watt. No deal has been finalized yet, and while many have been waiting for clarity, sources suggest this negotiation could stretch into the training camp deadline. It's a classic NFL standoff: what wants his value? And the Steelers front office is, as always, playing for the long term. Don't panic, deadlines make deals, and if history tells us anything, Pittsburgh moves when the clock is ticking the fastest. But that's just the start of it. The Steelers secondary is getting serious buzz right now, especially with the swirling speculation around Jaylen Ramsay. Could the addition of Ramsay elevate this defense to legendary status? According to internal chatter, Pittsburgh already boasts the league's best pass rush, but the secondary has remained the most vulnerable unit. While Beanie Bishop Jr. has flashed playmaking ability, even snagging 2 picks against Aaron Rodgers last season, there's an underlying sense that he might be the weak link. Ramsay, a top-tier nickelback, would eliminate any doubts and potentially complete a near-perfect defensive unit. No holes, no excuses. Still, there's another option on the table, and this one will tug at the hearts of die-hard Steelers faithful. Mike Hilton. The name still echoes through Heinz Field. Yes, I said it, Heinz. The man who once redefined what it meant to play slot corner in Pittsburgh. He was more than a defensive back. He was a hybrid menace, blitzing off the edge, stuffing the run, and embodying that gritty Pittsburgh toughness. After shining in Cincy last year, it's a surprise to many that Hilton remains unsigned. And now, the door to a reunion might just be creaking open. If the Ramsay talks stall, insiders say Hilton is very much in play. And you better believe fans would welcome him back with arms wide open. Pittsburgh knows his worth, and there's no one quite like Mike. Moving on to the quarterback buzz, it wouldn't be a true Steelers offseason without a bit of quarterback drama. Will Howard is currently in the spotlight, and while he isn't penciled in as the franchise savior just yet, there's growing curiosity about whether Pittsburgh will pass on the upcoming 2026 quarterback class to roll with him. It's a gamble. If they skip the draft and stick with Howard, they better be absolutely sure he's the guy, because next year's quarterback pool is stacked. Think names like Drew Aller and Leonard Sellers, big arms, elite athleticism, and franchise potential. Pass on those guys, and Howard's got a mountain of expectations to climb. And speaking of Drew Aller, there's a genuine scenario where the Steelers invest a first-round pick to bring the Penn State product into the fold. If that happens, folks, make no mistake, it's his job. There's no competition between a top draft investment and a 6th-round long shot. If Aller dons the black and gold, well, Howard is watching from the sideline. The front office will be all in on Aller's arm and his ability to manage the AFC North conditions with poise and power. Wide receiver room, that's another hotbed. Calvin Austin III is the name you need to circle. Fans are split. Can he hit 900 yards this season? It depends on whether the Steelers bring in a new WR2. If Amari Cooper or another established vet joins, Austin's touches take a hit. But if the front office rides with Austin as WR2, he's absolutely capable. The comparison being made? Darnell Mooney. Same build, same route running precision, same fire. The opportunity is there, it's just a matter of usage. Now, let's talk tight ends. Pat Freiermuth continues to divide opinion, but the truth lies in the middle. He's not Travis Kelce, but he's not a scrub either. He's dependable, physical, a true possession guy who can win over the middle and handle linebackers with ease. Where he's underrated, blocking. Sure, he's not an inline mauler, but put him against safeties and smaller defenders, and he shines. The noise about his blocking is overstated. He's a real asset in the right role. There's also some quiet confidence in the depth at edge rusher. Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig might not be household names yet, but they're forming what many believe is the most complete edge rotation in the NFL. Sawyer's a brick wall against the run, and Herbig, he's becoming a nightmare on passing downs. Together, they're part of what makes this Steelers front seven so terrifying. The pieces are falling into place. And let's not ignore the wild card, Cordarrelle Patterson. Why is he still around? Veteran leadership, familiarity with Arthur Smith's offense. He might not make the final roster, but his role in mentoring rookie Caleb Johnson shouldn't be overlooked. The Steelers see Patterson as a short-term asset with long-term impact, helping Johnson adjust, learn, and thrive in a similar offensive role. So many questions still loom, and the answers will start unfolding in training camp. But for now, I want to hear from you, especially on two fronts. Should the Steelers bring back Mike Hilton instead of chasing Jaylen Ramsay? And would you trust Will Howard over a quarterback from the elite 2026 class? Let me know in the comments below. Now, when we look at the bigger picture, especially as training camp inches closer, the decisions looming over the Steelers front office aren't just about individual players. They're about identity, and no move reflects that more than the ongoing deliberation between Jaylen Ramsay and Mike Hilton. This isn't simply a talent versus familiarity argument, it's a cultural one. Ramsay, as elite as he is, represents a big swing from outside. Hilton, on the other hand, is the embodiment of Steelers football, gritty, undervalued, relentless. Fans remember the way he blitzed from the slot like a heat-seeking missile, wrecking run plays and timing his pressure perfectly off the edge. That kind of chemistry isn't bought, it's built. And with Hilton still unsigned, the question becomes, is the front office ready to double down on culture over splash? Because one thing is clear, Hilton fits this system like a glove. In contrast, Ramsay would mean reworking some of the defensive balance. Sure, he's arguably the best nickel in the game today, but integrating him could shift roles and responsibilities that have been finely tuned this offseason. Speaking of defensive structure, don't overlook the interior evolution happening on this roster. With veterans and rotational players like Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig carving out clear roles, the depth at edge and hybrid linebacker is at an all-time high. Herbig in particular is emerging as one of the NFL's most lethal designated pass rushers. He's undersized by traditional standards, but don't let that fool you. His motor is endless, and his hand technique is refined beyond his years. He's a perfect complement to TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, and his presence allows the Steelers to rotate pressure packages more creatively without compromising integrity on the edge. Sawyer, meanwhile, is a throwback, a no-nonsense run defender who thrives on early downs. He's not flashy, but he's exactly the kind of guy you want setting the tone against smash-mouth AFC North offenses. The rotation of Watt, Highsmith, Herbig, and Sawyer may not get national headlines, but insiders are already calling it one of the deepest and most effective edge rooms in the NFL. Offensively, the tension around the wide receiver group only continues to grow. The front office reportedly made calls to Green Bay about Romeo Dew and Dontavian Wicks, both intriguing options who could slide into the WR2 role with ease. But the Packers haven't budged. Whether that's due to their own roster needs or a steep asking price is unclear. As training camp approaches, every decision becomes magnified. The foundation is there. The defense has the pieces. The offense has a direction. But the gaps at WR2, slot corner, and quarterback will define this team's ceiling. So here's what I want to know from you. Should the Steelers trade for an outside WR or roll with Austin? Should they go all in on Ramsay or bring back the battle-tested Hilton? And are you willing to risk next year's draft class on Will Howard? Drop your thoughts below. And as always, make sure you're subscribed because I'll be dropping breaking updates as soon as news hits camp. Smash that like button if you bleed black and gold, and stay locked in. More breaking news is on the way.